Hi, I'm Andi Ziege. I'm a filmmaker from Germany. I've got a film in the World Cinema section at Montreal. It's called Beti and Amare. It's the first Ethiopian sci-fi film. It's also a micro-budget film. It was shot for 14,000 euros.
Wow.
We premiered a couple of months ago in the main competition at the Moscow International Film Festival, and the story is about a young Ethiopian girl who, during 1936 Ethiopia, the Second World War in Ethiopia, escapes Mussolini's troops to move to the south of the country. In the south, things aren't safer as she had hoped. The leader of the local militia wants to take her as his wife, whether she wants to or not, and she doesn't. As things are about to escalate towards the unthinkable, a spaceship cracks through the clouds and falls to the ground. And out of the spaceship comes an alien that ends up being her protector and savior. We will be going to other festivals with this film. One in October, which I'm not allowed to talk about yet. I'm not allowed to say which one it is.
In Canada? No.
No, this one is in Europe. This one is in a European country. Yeah. Can you guide me a little bit?
Yeah. What inspired you? Why did you come up with such a... I mean, it's a big challenge, science fiction, with a small budget, special effects. How did you do?
It's, right, I didn't mention it's a feature film. That's right, yeah. A feature film for 14,000 euros, which is pretty intense.
Yeah.
It's, what inspired me at the beginning was when traveling to Ethiopia a few times before, I wrote my master's thesis there and so on. The country inspired me, and I ended up building this story around a social issue, which is the trek to get water, which is something that women in third world countries all over the world face. Sometimes that trek can take 6 hours. And it's one of the most dangerous situations for women in third world countries all over the world. And I wanted to speak about this issue, and I wanted to make it accessible, and so I ended up including these sci-fi components. The sci-fi components you can interpret, however, as her dissociation as a result of her trauma. So this alternate reality which she creates to deal with the violence in her life, to create situations in which she's alive, the wind distracted me. To create situations in which she's in charge. She is alive, yes, throughout the movie. In which she's in charge, in which she's in control of this violence that comes as a result of World War II in Ethiopia, and comes as a result of violence towards women in these countries.
Tell me, on a different matter, you're familiar with Montreal? Is that your first visit? What can you tell us about the festival, the ambiance? What does it help connecting? Tell us about this.
I'm having a great time in Montreal. I actually lived in Canada for a long time, but on the West Coast, so this is my first time in Montreal. I have been eating a lot of poutine, which is a local Montreal dish, and it's the only Canadian dish that can only be found in Canada, pretty much, or that was invented in Canada, which is, I would call it the Canadian national dish. And living in Frankfurt, I haven't had poutine in a long time. So
tell us, what is it?
Poutine is it's French fries with gravy and young cheddar. The cheddar has to be really young and squeaky. It can't be it can't be smelly or anything like that. Like it has to be straight out of the factory. And you can't even find that cheddar anywhere else, because most countries don't sell cheese until it's aged a little bit. So yeah, I'm really happy to have been eating a lot of poutine while here.
And film-wise, did you make discoveries, nice surprises, meetings, or?
I've met a lot of interesting people, a lot of filmmakers, a lot of people who I think are up-and-comers. I've met a lot of Germans, a lot of Canadians, young Canadian filmmakers who are making their first movies. We're in a time right now where we're making films is more accessible than it ever was before. We can pick up a camera and make a movie, make a feature-length film, and Montreal has been supporting some of these filmmakers, which I think is really amazing, by inviting these filmmakers here. Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, thank you. It was very interesting listening to your story, and wish you best of luck on the circuit.
Thank you very much.